started. Good morning, team. I'm so excited that everyone is finally together and that I'm able to share with you how we're going to go about changing the world in just a few very, very short weeks. I know that many of you have seen me face to face and some of you have not. This is the first time that we're talking. And so of course I have to let you know how much you matter and how much that your actions today and your actions in the next several weeks and months are going to matter to the world. And the world is absolutely, absolutely not only waiting for your contribution, they need it desperately. So I'm going to overview for just about 5 minutes the vision of the movement in general, and then how that is shaping up. And then we'll talk more specifically about what our work is from now until March 28th, and then what's going to happen when we were thinking, instead of calling it a contest, we're going to call it a quest to matter. So it is not something that has a beginning and end. It's just the beginning of our quest as individuals, as schools, as organizations to ensure that our actions count. So here's the goal: to imagine a world where every single individual, big and small, knows not only that they matter, that they were created for significance, but knows that their actions count. And it doesn't take massive actions. You don't have to fly to another country and build a village in order for the world to change. A very, very, very small action, but done consciously every day, not only can change the world, we have proof that it is changing the world. I made this case, as you know, about a little over a year ago. And since that moment that I shared these two words, you matter, and reminded every single human being that they were created for significance, the message has been shared over 1 million times in multiple ways, through video, through social media, through art, through dance, through song, and watching that evolve over the last year has been breathtaking. But beyond that, it's been a reminder that the work that we're engaging in right now is not a cute little project. It's not a fun little thing that we're going to do for a certain event or for a certain day of the week like Earth Day, and we're going to pick up garbage, and then the day after we're going to go back to littering. Our goal is permanent, and our goal is immediate action. And so this is a mission that absolutely must happen. In fact, yesterday, one of the meetings I had was with the National Guard, and speaking about how desperate this mission is, that they are in conversations about when someone is called, when it's a life and death situation, the National Guard is called in. Knowing that you matter is a life and death situation for many people, that we have a big job to do. But I said I have the entire team to do it. So how do we do this? This is our logo that we just found out, we just got it delivered to us yesterday. So if you could just take a minute in the chat room and sort of react, and then I'll break down. The logo represents the actions not only we'll be taking over the next few days and months, but the actions that we are going to accelerate the world to take. So I just want you to take a look at it, and if you could write something, or Vicki, if they could say something to you, or Amy, if you're in the room with your Genius students, what are your thoughts when you see the logo and the messaging? And I would love it if, especially any student that's in the room, if they would take the mic, because the first thing is your reaction and your ideas when you see how we'll put the message out. Vicki, is there any student that would be willing to take the mic in your classroom? Or Amy, do you want to react to it. I just want to get some feedback because this actually is our action plan moving forward. So your idea with it, I see a bunch of buttons. So is that a good thing? I hope so.
I had told them to type it in. I didn't know if you wanted them to speak or not. Do I have any students that want to give feedback?
I don't see
come on and
where you
who wants
their
to?
words.
And you'll be able to save this chat by going to File.
I can't see the chat. I can't see anybody.
Supervise. Do you see their chat?
I don't see their chat. I see.
Okay. You go to okay. Go to View and Restore Default Layout. Okay, so go to View and Restore Default Layout, and you'll be able to see the chat.
Now I see it. Well, I'm so much happier that I see you guys talking.
There.
Okay. Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Okay, love it. Accept the challenge. Wow. Now I'm seeing you talking. Okay, excellent. Excellent. All right. It seems easy creating a logo, but it's not completely easy. So this sets up the 3 actions that the movement embodies. Many people, when they hear the words choose to matter, or you matter especially, think, oh, that's just such a cute little message. That's really, really sweet. But it's a lot bigger than sweet. And so the very first layer of the movement is for individuals and organizations to accept that they matter. And so the accept part already has begun. The conversation around what does it mean to know you matter and how different that feels than knowing you're liked or knowing that somebody thinks that what you do is good. Knowing you matter is about significance, knowing that you have a role, knowing that you've been set apart and that you are needed and that you are essential. And so that's the conversation we started having when the manifesto came out. So the manifesto is about acceptance. It's about acceptance that you do have influence and that you were chosen and that you were set apart and that your gift isn't something that you withhold to your own life or to the people around you. It is a responsibility to contribute that in a humble, compassionate, empathetic way to the world. And on September 15th, as you know, with partnership with my friend and family, Peter Reynolds and Fablevision, 800,000, that's nearly, I mean, it's nearly 1 million. And that's the people that signed up, schools and communities and countries across 8 continents pledged that they were going to live a life that mattered. And so that was really refreshing to understand how needed it is to accept that you matter. So that's important. So that'll be a part of the site. Our work right now, in the beginning, even beyond the quest, is to accelerate the understanding around this message. Because you will get, I have gotten, our community will get, well, that's a really nice thing to say. And so we need to make sure that we have a team in place. So one of the first teams that we will have gathering, and we will make a Google Doc that now that we have the team jobs and the team roles, you will be able to see each layer of this mission, and you'll be able to select where your genius fits the most. So we will have a team around accept. We will have a team that moves forward the manifesto and moves forward the conversation and the awareness around that. So we'll call that the acceptance team. And you don't have to write any of this down. We'll pull that together in detail. I'm just giving you a quick overview. Accelerate, great question. What does acceleration mean? So acceleration means move forward. So we move forward and onward the acceleration of the understanding that mattering is not a nicety. It is not something nice to say to someone. It is something that is a necessity. And it's a necessity because what we're going to ask after we tell somebody, yes, you matter, we're going to ask them to act and to contribute. And so we want to accelerate their ability to understand that their actions count So there'll be an acceleration team. This is where we will have an entire social media strategy and social media partners that will help accelerate not only the message of mattering, but the understanding around the message. The next phase, so here's an example of what acceleration looks like, where we move that message beyond our colleagues, beyond our families, beyond our classrooms. This is a group of students, and in their town there was, I don't know if it was manufacturing, and it went, the town sort of went dead because it lost a lot of jobs, and the town was really, really desperate because literally the entire community didn't feel like they mattered anymore. And so these students asked their teacher if every recess time they could reinvigorate the town, and they created You Matter signs, they created You Matter messages, they created You Matter Post-it notes, they created all kinds of things, reminding and accelerating, no matter what happens, the people in this town matter. And they went every recess and they put it on park benches, and they put it on storefront windows, and they put it on windshields. That's not a project per se, but that's an example of acceleration of the message and what it does to change a community. There's 100 stories like what these kids have done. So that's acceleration. So we'll be using video, and we'll be using storytelling, and we'll be using social media to give the world platforms that they can accelerate not only the words You Matter, but the understanding of how important they are to individuals and the community. That leads us to achieve. What are we trying to achieve? We're trying to achieve a different world, and a world where every individual not only knows that they matter, but their actions count. And when you know that, then you look at the world very differently. You don't look at the world through the lens of what do I need? You look at the lens from what can I do? How can what I've been gifted with, how can what I have, how can what I have access to be used to solve the world's most complex problems? From animal endangerment to human rights violations to clean water to our broken education system. And what we know is that we can achieve greater things when we are leveraging our collective genius. And that's what March 28th is about. Individuals, especially students, have brilliant genius inside of them. And they have extraordinary ideas that are not only worthy of the world, they are absolutely needed by the world. For the last year, students from all over the continent, all over the world, have been participating in, and I'll give you more information on this, but it's called Genius Hour. I wrote a book about a year and a half ago that took the structure of companies like Google and IDEO and FedEx, and what they found out is the way that Google achieved their goals is not by pushing their employees to do things, not by beating them down, by not only telling their employees that they mattered and their genius count, but gave their employees 1 day a week, or what they call 20% time. 1 day a week, and they said, achieve anything that you want with anyone you want. Dream big, dream audaciously. How do you want the world to look different? And that's what we will do. So for the last year and a half, we've had 1,500 schools and about 6,000 teachers having Genius Hour, where 1 hour a week students got together to change the world. And we have about 400 of their projects. And they're not simple little projects. They're projects from starting a nonprofit to fighting global illiteracy. This is a group of grade 3 students that have now built 5 libraries in another country. That they've done that with just the challenge to achieve a world. So as brilliant as kids are, and as beautiful as your ideas are and these kids' ideas are, you cannot do that without adults. And so our mission on March 28th is twofold. That we are going to tap in to every genius student in the world, or at least every genius student that you can reach, that I can reach with our message of acceleration. We are partnering with KidBlogs, the largest blogging platform for kindergarten through probably 5th to 8th grade kids. And then we have your group, high school and on, that is already aware via social media. And KidBlogs for the last month and a half has been building us a very special site and a very special platform where any child, it doesn't matter if they're in 1st grade or if they're in high school, will have a platform. It says everybody's left the room. Can you still hear me? We'll have a platform where they can contribute their world-changing idea. Their world-changing idea. And so KidBlogs has 2.5 million bloggers, and we don't know if every single one of them will contribute their genius. We don't know if 10 of them will contribute their genius. My sense is I do not think that we will have 5 contributions. I think we will have hundreds of thousands of contributions with actionable ideas to change the world. These will not just be like, oh, I have a dream and I think it would be great if, you know, everybody wore purple today. That we're taking kids' voices or the student voice, so I'm going to share a hashtag with you because we have a very powerful and very organized community of student leaders that is absolutely one of the strongest groups on the web that I know as our partner. So we are taking, the world is taking the student voice very seriously. And now all they needed was a place to share their voice. So on March 28th, we are going to invite every student genius, 5, 15, bigger than 15, to contribute their idea to wow the world and change the world. This is where you come in. So before I tell you what your job, what your role is, I want you to take a few minutes in the chat room and tell me what you think so far. So we are going to achieve this. We are going to use the genius that is sitting in our classroom right now to solve the world's most complex problems. And there is no one more suited and no one more qualified to do this than students. You can do what adults are too scared to do, too dumb to do, and too arrogant to do. So once we have your ideas and projects, then that's where you guys come in. So before we talk about what happens after all the contributions come in, I want you to just tell me what you're thinking about the mission and movement for March 28th. And I'm going to read the chat room and respond. And this is a good time to take the mic before I go into the quest and contest. So that if you have any questions right now about what our mission is, what our goal is, what our vision is, ask me now. Yeah. And Vicki, you can be their voice. Amy, Eric, whoever is in the room.
They're thinking on it. Some had to leave the official room because we were having bandwidth problems here. But this class, I've always valued them because they've always been very blunt with me. So I'm asking them to be that way as well. Did you want the mic to go off when they give you feedback, or just keep it running?
No, absolutely not. Actually, have them turn, this is what I do, have them turn and talk to one another. I'm going to wait. This is very important. Turn and talk to each other. No, I don't want the recording off. I want this all on. I want them to be blunt. I want them to be transparent. I want them to say what they think their friends might say, because if we don't handle any discourse right now, if we're not absolutely confirmed, convicted, and relentless in moving this mission forward, if there's any doubt as a team, as a community, then we need to handle that right now with each other before we look at the actual aspects of the contest. I just typed in.
Angela, I'm going to put Caroline on. I'm not turning on my video just because we're having some bandwidth, but let me let Caroline tell your thoughts. We're going to keep going.
Okay.
Hi, Miss Angela.
Hi, Caroline. How are you?
Good. Okay. Well, my thought was you should get the word out a little bit, like make T-shirts and stuff, and like put up signs and stuff, and like make it sort of like a cool thing that kids would really want to do. Like someone else said, how how it's a freedom of speech thing. Like grown-ups can't really do anything because it's your opinion. They should really get it out and make it where kids really want to do this. This is a really good idea, though.
Thank you, Carolyn. I completely agree with you. That's one of the teams that both what Miss Vicki said. That's how we selected the jobs. Is there'll be teams that will do that. There'll be a team that will create what you said, store things like bands and T-shirts and signs. Another team. Those would be on what I would call the acceleration team, and we'll break that down, but you are absolutely thinking exactly where I need. We have got to get kids to understand this is not just a cool thing to be a part of. The world needs their contribution. Just like one of the people that is on the board of the mission that we met yesterday is a captain, a high-ranking captain in the National Guard, and it is the same way that he would rally soldiers and he would deploy them on a mission that is life and death. That is exactly what he's going to help us do, is deploy our on-the-ground soldiers for this mission that is life and death. Okay, so Amy, will video be the, okay. So I'm reading the chat. So Amy's question, will video be the only medium? Absolutely not. We are using every medium, every platform, every kind of communication, what do I want to say, method. And so that's where the acceleration team comes in, because we will divide. So once you sign up, if you want to be a part of accelerating and moving forward the messaging around this, we will have sub-jobs. So there will be some that will work specifically in video, some that will work in photography, some that will work in a specialized art. So we have a visual artist, we have an animator, and so there'll be details. Once we have the big categories, then each group will meet with each group, and then we'll work out the specific jobs underneath that. So, okay, at Amy, we're going to turn into a video. Yes, yes. So I'm trying to read your comments. Or actually, Vicki, can you read that, because there's a lot of them, which is awesome, but I don't want to stop talking to you.
Let me write some.
Yes, sure. Please do.
Yeah, that'll capture it on the video. So Drew had a great question. It said, how is this going to be spread to everyone in the world through media sites like KidBlog? How are students going to know this is happening? I just don't see how it's going to be expressed worldwide. I do feel it's a good idea, but I'm skeptical about how it will be broadcast.
So
that
Drew,
was Drew's question. And my response was actually, if we give people pictures to Tumblr and things to blog, I think, Angela, you've been talking about a social media component of Accelerate.
Yes. So social media is critical in acceleration. So the acceleration team, we could also call that a social media team. But it's bigger than just social media, because there'll be on-the-ground acceleration too. So that component part of the movement, just to give you an idea how powerful social media is. Just the two words, you matter. because of social media. The reason we have a movement is because social media accelerated this movement across. So social media is like, that's why they call it the World Wide Web. Everything is connected. So what is beautiful about the social media platforms is that you may only share it on Facebook, but someone else on Facebook has the power, if they're connected in social media, to share it on 50 different networks at the same time. So it could go on Reddit, it could go on Pinterest, it could go on. So we have teams in place for every social media network. And we have social media, what do I want to say, leaders that run those networks. The CEOs, the developers, the people who invented those platforms that you know. Like, for example, one of the platforms is called Big Marker. That's one of the platforms we're talking to. The CEO, the person who created Big Marker. We met in New York with the person who created Adobe. So when we are in these conversations because of social media, we don't have just the platforms that everyone in the world has. We have individuals that are saying, we will make a special platform for you to accelerate this movement. So I don't want you to worry at all about the acceleration. I'll work with that team, we'll work with that team. I just need you to think about, do you want to be a part of the acceptance team where you help people accept this? Do you want to be a part of the acceleration team that moves this forward? Do you want to be, and we'll lay that out after our conversation. We will create a Google Doc today that answers all of your questions. We will give you the official sign-up sheet that has each of these jobs described so that you can sign up for whichever one that you think you're best suited for. And then we'll be meeting with those individual teams to actually lay down what those jobs look like. Because it would take me all day to give the job description of every one of the jobs. So I just want you to think in categories. Do I want to be the person who creates t-shirts and signs and bracelets and cool things, or do I want to be the person who works on videos that are going to spread the message? Those are two different teams to be on, and they'll be coached different. Does that make sense?
They have a very big
Vicki, is there any questions?
People have said, yeah. The concern,
Perfect.
It looks like, is so Will said some countries block these sites, and Drew said some countries don't have the technology to use the internet. And the question is, and then Caroline said they should have role models like celebrities, and we love the idea of the quest. Mark has given us some great clarification. But I think the question they have is, how is it going to be inclusive of kids in other countries? How are we going to bridge the digital divide and really make it global?
First of all, that is a brilliant, genius question. If Albert Einstein, can you see him, my idol? Albert Einstein, can you see him on the video? I don't even know if I'm on video anymore. Can you see him? He would be very proud. That's called a genius question. So one of the things that is somewhat confusing is I haven't yet talked about the contest part of it. This is the messaging around the movement. And so all of those questions that you have, how do we build the digital divide? How do we make sure that every kid in every country gets to participate? One of the things that is supporting us, supporting you guys, there's about 200 of you kids, is an entire network on the social web. We have the 80 most influential people on the social web in every field, in every discipline. The most powerful media outlets, the most powerful social media outlets, the most powerful people that run the web that you and I use every day, the underneath of that. They are on our team. And we met with about 12 of them in New York about a week ago. And we have people saying, we will do anything to help you and these kids change the world. So if there is a boundary to break down, if there is a barrier to climb over, if there is a kink in something that will not allow this message to accelerate, they are saying to us, we will break that wall down, we will build you something that will do what you're asking, that there is nothing beyond what everything that we have that we will do to make this happen. So people are bending rules, people are breaking rules, people are creating new rules so that this message can accelerate. So I want you to feel excitement about that. I want you to feel comfort in that. And many of the teams will be working directly with those individuals. So one of the things that I tell grown-ups, but I tell kids, you're not just going to the web to get stuff from the web. You're not just going to the web to interact with the web. You are the web. Your actions and what we decide are the best actions count, because the people that are creating the web are saying, if this is the action you need to take and this is what it needs to look like, I'll build that for you. And so both of our partners, KidBlog and our other partner, Student Launcher, and Skype, have built something that isn't available to anyone else on the web, just for us and just for this movement. That's how important the world thinks this movement is. It is a matter of life and death. So I want you to talk about that for a second and see. It's hard to conceptualize because it doesn't seem possible. We are always waiting for somebody to do something for us. We get to create the world that we wish it to be. And that's why this is such an important team. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Just so you know, the bell rang, so I have a different class now.
Oh, shoot.
I have a different class now. The bell rang.
Okay.
But yeah, they said they're all in though. They're totally in.
All right.
And this particular class, and the reason I wanted you to have them, is very, very social media savvy. And of course, you know that's my expertise. And I'm able to unblock Facebook and Twitter and things at school. So we look forward to getting the sign-up list from Mark when that comes out. And then the other thing is, you know, at some point that doc will want to evolve from a doc to a wiki, and I'm happy to talk to you and help you with some of our Black Classroom piece. We can talk about that offline, but we've got some, I'd like to send this to my certified teachers and let them take a listen.
Absolutely.
Because they can do some things,
so
I
Vicki,
think,
can you
to help
stay
organize.
on with your other class so I can at least get on tape what the contest guidelines are, how we're going to structure that, and then I need to talk with you about the video that your kids need to make this week. So do you have to go?
Yeah, this particular class, no, I can stay and I can listen. This particular class actually has a video assignment due for their lit teacher tomorrow. So let's just go ahead and record. I told the other class that I was going to be playing this for them tomorrow, and then my other 9th grade class, I have 2 of them, will be listening to this in the morning as their assignment.
Okay.
So let's just keep going. When we edit the video, we'll just cut this piece out. Okay. Keep going. I'm listening.
One of the things that is an assignment, that's an immediate assignment, and I don't know if Amy's still in the room. I've got to get the link. I'm sending you a link. Of course, I can't find it right now because that would be way too easy. Just one second. School 2. Okay, I got it. Okay, so is Amy, are you in the room still? I don't know if she is. Oh, yes, I see you, yay. Okay, so all of that is setting up how we're preparing the world for March 28th. So March 28th begins the quest, where we're going to ask kids, and we're hoping that it's video, but if kids blog and it's not video, we'll be able to use their blog posts on, and yes, KidBlog does accept video. We'll be asking them to, at least write about, what they're thinking, but video is the most powerful medium. So in order to get just a little bit of support to help the 200 kids, once all of these, we'll give the quest about a month. So from March 28th, for about 4 weeks, kids, students, outside of Kid Blogs and inside of Kid Blogs will be uploading their ideas and their mission to change the world. Oh, Amy had to go to class. Hi, Karen. Hi there. So whether it's Vicky's class or Amy's class wants to participate, Student Launcher, and I'm putting this in here, I think it's studentlauncher.org, is going to be our platform where we're going to release the campaign video. The campaign video is not the movement video. The campaign video is helping raise money to support the duration of the quest, the moments from in the next few weeks until probably May 1st, because the team of 225 kids, your classrooms, are going to have to be ready to sort, classify, to select, and then ultimately to reward the top contributions so they can be scaled and honored by the world. So we need, our most immediate need right now is a campaign video for Student Launcher. And we have that video sort of scoped out and sketched out, and then we need, there's a piece of it we need your kids to do. And I don't know, I can call them back tomorrow, or we can look at just meeting with the kids who are willing to work on the campaign video, which we hope to launch on February 1st. So along with the initial part of the site, now the logo and everything is done. That doesn't have to be a conversation for everyone in the class. This is just,
yeah. Well, the one thing I wanted to ask, I know you've got Amy and Karen involved, and the biggest thing is we want to take a piece of it, but we do need to make sure that it's a diverse video.
Exactly.
That was one concern that the kids had.
Yes.
And so if there's something that they can say, that Amy or her group can say, that, you know, whether it's Choose to Matter or Choose to Matter, Make a Difference, or whatever it is we want to have them say, then we need to see your storyboard and script and see what other classrooms are willing to do this. Now, we can even get some classrooms from China and Thailand and
that would be
Australia.
great.
If we want some other accents, we can do that.
That would
but
be
we
great.
need to get that script pretty quick if you've already done the script. If not, then we'll write it.
We have it done. So here's the freedom with it. Because we're trying to time this when the site and the infrastructures are ready to go. Like, we don't want to put the video out and not have the site done. And we're, you know, people are building parts of this site, so we can't like rush the designers. So our initial agenda is they're hoping that we'll have something concrete to share with the world that first week in February. So what we did with the board yesterday and what we've done with the team in New York is we created the script for the campaign video. We were working with the CEO of Kid Launcher to just say, you know, what sells, timing. Now, when we give this to you, and I'll give this to you, we're finalizing, I'll put it on the Google Doc today. It doesn't mean you have to skip to that or, you know, stick to that. I trust your kids, I trust you, but I didn't want to just give them a willy-nilly, like, say whatever you want. So if you see, I'll share it quickly with you now, and then know that there's complete flexibility and adaptation. But if you can click on that SchoolTube video, can you click on that for a second? And it's 1 minute long. Will you watch that together right now? And then I'll show you the script that we built around that. If you and Amy or you and Karen or whoever can watch that. And Vicki, tell me when you have. Perfect. Okay, so let me tell you what, and again, we're open to being this changing, but the script for Student Launcher, this particular video, not all the videos coming up, are literally to raise money to help your classroom. These 225 kids in 5 different parts of the world, from Georgia to, I'm talking to the Canada kids in 20 minutes. So from Georgia to Canada to China, our team of about 225 change agents. And we got to pick a name for what, you know, quest masters or whatever they are, you know, what you guys as kids want to be called. So we can use this video, or you can redo something like that, but it's a call to let kids know, or to let the world know, that these kids want to change the world, and they're capable of it, they have genius, but they need the help from the world to do that. So whatever that is, like maybe 40 seconds or a minute in, we'll then enter your kids. That could be Amy's kids, your kids, Vicki, with this sort of script. On March 28th, 2 million students like these are going to tackle the world's most complex issues and problems, from clean water to global illiteracy. We have a team of 225, and then I got to think of a name for you guys, on a mission to help them achieve this goal. And then we would lay out, you know, what we're going to do, a little bit of detail about the contest, and in that we'll show like a couple of those slides I showed you that shows kids are already doing this, and then close it with the end of that video that basically it's 2 more kids saying, are you ready to help us change the world? Tomorrow starts today. You know, you matter to our mission. And then close it like that. And then at the end, what we've written up is the ask for the community. So when the video is shared on Student Launcher, through all of our social networks, through all of, you know, from your kids, friends, and family to our massive global network, they need about a 2-minute video that basically says, here's what we're trying to do, here's the kids that are going to do it, this is the kind of world change you can expect from them, you can expect great things, and these 225 kids have stepped up to the plate, and they're going to make this happen. They're going to deliver to the world the most genius ideas that the world has ever seen since the beginning of time. And ideas like, you know, a few of the kids' projects, and then just, you know, are you going to end with, are you going to help us change the world? And then we have created the details on the launch site that says, here's what we need. We need t-shirts, we need pizza, we need, you know, whatever. And that's why if we have to say we need, this money will go toward buying, you know, a video camera, or buying, you know, whatever. There's nobody that won't give $5 to this. There's nobody that won't say, and the ask is going to be $5. So people can give $5,000, or they can give $5. And $5 times our massive global network. You blog about it, I blog about it. We've got an entire network of bloggers, both in social media, and then I have just formed a relationship with the Huffington Post. And so I'm working out the launch for, so no, each classroom is not going to raise money to help. No, need the money for running this out. We want money to go to helping you have it happen. So it's not that your kids are going to be fundraisers. Absolutely not. We need a small group of your kids, I believe like 2 or 3 kids that you think are really awesome with video, that by February 1st could create this 2-minute video around this script. Whether you use existing video or you actually create that with different kids, not the kids on this video. That's all your kids are going to do. The network that we have is going to raise the money. Your kids don't have to go door to door and knock and say, will you give me $5? What I hope is that every one of the 225 kids would be so passionate that they would share the video and say, Mom and Dad, and, you know, instead of buying me, you know, a week, instead of spending, you know, money on McDonald's this weekend, would you give $5 so that I can help change the world? It'll buy me a t-shirt. But there's no expectation on any school, any kid's part to actively fundraise. The video will do that. This video with our network, we want to go viral, and then have all of the people that are saying, how do I help, give money so that we can do whatever it takes to help these kids from February until May. So I'm only asking right now for a small group of kids to work on the video so we can have something awesome on.
Yeah, let me give you one thought though.
Yep.
What I'd like to do is that script, I wrote it down. I'd like to get different parts of the script, like, you know, where it says on March 28th, it might be a classroom in Australia.
Oh my God.
2 million students, and that might be a classroom somewhere else, and or China or wherever, you know, like these, and it would be like some kids standing in a classroom, you know, holding their hands out. So like I want to outsource the different pieces of this so it's not just one kid saying it, you know, from clean water to global literacy, and have, you know, on a mission to help them achieve this goal. And we actually cut this up and put it, but what I want to do, and what I do a lot of times when I do videos like this, I need to know the res that this needs to be put out in. If you have any specs on that for your sites, you need to ask the creative people. The res and the quality it needs to be shot, because that's going to kind of determine how fast we can get this video from around the world. And I do want to put the call out first to the classrooms you've already recruited, so I'll need their emails. They can contribute that, and then I can go with a flat classroom to fill in. I mean, we have New Zealand, we have all these places. Now, Australia is out of school right now, but we can get stuff. So we can get, you know, a video. But what I usually do is I'll actually have all my kids, all my students create a video. I'll put it on a server, and then they get to pull all the clips they want. And what will happen is we'll end up with 10 or 15 to choose from. I'll pick the top 2 or 3 and then send them to y'all. And that way, because sometimes the most creative genius in video making is not your loudest kid. It's your really quiet kid who doesn't volunteer. So I want all of them to get the opportunity to make a video and have theirs be chosen. And it's just amazing what happens.
I don't care that we use that video that was raw, that was sent in, but I do like the script of it. I do like that this is not a plea from me. It's not a plea from you. This is the plea that kids are shouting. Help me change the world. Don't just help me study math or science. I am smart. I am creative. I am a genius. And you know what? You need to help me on this mission. You matter to my mission. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you. We're not just telling you that we're smart, we're creative. We're going to show you. Not only, we're not only going to wow the world, we're going to show you the world needs us. And then the important part is the ask isn't for the individual kids. The ask is from these 225 kids have stepped up to the plate, and they said, we're going to help these kids complete this mission, and here's what we need. We would really like t-shirts, and we would really like some pizza and a little ice cream every once in a while, and then we will deliver to you the top 100 world-changing projects, or, you know, whatever it is. I don't even think we need to tell. Student Launcher is completely open. They will do anything. They're already breaking the rules. They are going to position our video in a way they've never done any. So we have carte blanche. But what I know from studying all the launch sites is that anything over 2 minutes, we're going to lose people. So we've got to get to, you know, under 2 minutes. But I love the script of that first video. I don't need those kids to be in it. In fact, I think it will be actually easier to shoot new kids. I want to show kids of all ages. But the end face I want to see is like Amy's class, your class, because the heroes in this story, those are the, I don't know, those are the people that we're trying to help, the people in need. The problem is kids' genius is underestimated. Your students, the 225 students doing this, are the heroes and the heroines.
Okay, how many classes are in the 225?
I think 5. And we're merging 2. So 2 are in New York. And so we have York, New York, and oh my gosh, in 11 minutes, Canada. But
I'll let you go.
Is going to help us, and so we've got people at the table from Cisco to Huffington. They're going to help us with technologies that will allow us to seamlessly mentor, to seamlessly work together, and so it doesn't really matter where they're at. We're gonna be able to come together.
will you send an email to all of the teachers involved and of course include me in that, introduce me, and let them know that we will be sending them a request for video this week after I meet with the kids tomorrow. So, and then if you can get me the specs today on what you need in terms of the red, you know, I'm sure it's going to be higher than 640 by 480. If we have to shoot in HD, I just need to know, you know, what they want so we can make it consistent. And if you can get that to me today, then I'll have what I need to meet with the guys tomorrow, with the kids, and we'll start fleshing it out. I'm probably going to split it in two in terms of trying to get the actual footage, because we're going to have to outsource this, which is great. We do this all the time in Flight Classroom. I've done this before, and put a call out for video and gotten it from around the world very quickly. So we can get it from anywhere. The only other thing I need is if you have a permission form, an active permission form.
I don't have a...
you need that.
You have one, Vicki? I don't.
I have what Edutopia has used and what Pearson has used. I have one. Let me send you one. Let's put that on my list right now.
So here's what, so for Amy, and you can communicate, or Karen, you can communicate this to Amy. So here's what will come back after. We will have a Google Doc. If you have additional questions that come from your kids, send them in. We already have a Google Doc with questions from Amy's kids. We will have the broad team categories with the sort of like if you want this job, here's the job description. But they will be very broad. They won't be like, that we will not be able to do really detailed, like here's what you do Monday, because each team is needed at a different part of the movement. So it's important that kids just match their passions and their talent with what's needed in all of the movements. So there will be some of the 225 that will work on messaging and branding of the story and accelerating the message that actually won't be involved in the contest or quest. So we're hoping to get the categories down to 10 kinds of jobs. We want absolutely a project manager in each one. So we want a project manager and an assistant minimum in each of the 10 categories, and that team that'll be a different job description. So we're working on the job descriptions right now. Once we see the layout of what kids sign up, then we'll set up a calendar of mentoring time, of meeting time, of assignments, of materials, of deadlines, all of that. You cannot do that with the whole group. That's going to be team specific. So we're hoping to have between 8 and 10 teams with whatever amount of kids under the teams, and then we will break down per team what the actual job description and roles will be. Well, we have a whole I know 8 to 10 teams is a lot, but we have an entire network of professionals that are signed up to mentor and teach and coach. So we have support for those teams. So it's gonna be good. Maybe we'll try to get it down to 8, but there's a lot of different roles, and some teams are temporary. Some teams are only needed for 2 to 3 weeks in the beginning, and then they're done. Some teams are longer term. So we'll put that in the nature of the teams, and we'll get that Google Doc, and we should have that done by Thursday. And then we'll get you the script of the video and the specs for the video and all of that stuff. So I think is there anything else? I have to go on Canada in 5 minutes. So
I'll let you go.
Yeah, we'll try.
Just let me know if you need the kids are just going to all need a profile page and a way to contact each other easily. So you need to think about.
No, they're going to do
if they're going to do it on the blog,
they're going to do it on Wigio.
That just makes it tricky.
Yes, we got all that.
Okay,
we got
so
that all set up.
To Wigio.
So.
Okay.
Yep,
so you'll send us a spreadsheet to type our kids' names in this week so we can get it in.
Each team will have a space on Wigio.
Well, I will
the project manager will be there. We'll be able to do all the communication through Wigio. It even has capacity like Blackboard. So I'll send you the tutorial, and that's the other thing. Wigio, the CEO, is willing to do anything that we need to make the platform work. So if there's an element on the platform that doesn't work, then if it's possible, they'll work with us to make it better and stronger.
Well, if you can get me in as soon as you can,
Absolutely.
I can look at it and give you some advice for you and Mark. whatever you want. You know I'm here to help you. So
all right.
We'll start on our video and have fun in Canada.
Tell your kids they rock. And the most important thing is, from Amy, Karen, anybody, we need to find a name. What are we going to call these guys? You know, like, so if we're calling this the Quest to Matter, is the contest, the Quest to Matter, what are they? So what are their jobs? I mean, what do I call this team? Like, I don't know, like Seth Godin called the Domino team the street team. So whatever we call it, I want to be able to get pictures of the classes and Matter Hatters. Matter Hatters, oh my God. You're funny. Maybe not, maybe not. Anyway, that's it does. So let your kids decide. Let your kids decide, because when we announce when the site's ready, I want to highlight every one of you and every one of your classrooms and move, you know, their leadership forward. So, okay. So you guys matter. I love you all. This is really happening. It's like really happening. So we'll get the details worked out, but we've got the big structures in place. We've got the infrastructures in place, and now the details will probably come in the individual time with each team. So I will let you go, and I will jump on and get our Canadian friends ready.
Bye. Catch you later.
Bye.
Once everybody leaves the room, this will generate the video. I'll send it to you. You can do with it what you want, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.